The McKinnon epoxy coating and River Rock products provide maximum durability and amazing beauty. But to get it right, you need to understand a few epoxy basics.
The first thing is we're going to talk about epoxies a little bit, about different kinds of epoxy. In that a lot of people have the misconception that all epoxy are the same, whether it's that epoxy or this epoxy. All right, these are a few of the epoxies that we make. All of these are resins. This is a rubber resin. Now, basically, the functionality of an epoxy is going to be directly related to what the two parts are made of, the resin and the curing agent. It's kind of like you're a sum total of your mother and your father. You're not just your mom's, got to be both.
Each of our epoxy products have unique properties that can be used for many different kinds of projects.
What rubber epoxies are good for? Originally, they were designed to mix with rubber granules and be troweled down. What this gets used for, and what we sell it to, is we sell it to several boat manufacturers that make aluminum john boats and fishing boats. Because instead of putting indoor-outdoor carpet and gluing it down inside so that when you walk around in a boat and you scare all the fish because the boat's going, you can make it nice and dull because you glue a rubber to it. The next epoxy, which comes in handy, this is vertical epoxy. Basically, it's a consistency of Vaseline. Both sides are that way, so that when you mix them together, it stays that way. Introducing a thickening agent to this used to be hard. You had to put it in a mill, really grind it down with a blade to get a thickener to go into it. The thing is, it's not like that anymore. We've moved into the 21st century. We now have thickening agents, which if you take regular resin and simply dump some of this into it, stir it up like you're whipping up Nestle's Quick, you can make your own vertical epoxy. As far as vertical goes, a little bit later, later today, I'm going to teach you how to do vertical with rock, because rock is probably the hardest thing you're ever going to ask vertical to hold up. Easy coat is what we call a decoupage epoxy. If you've ever been to Hooters and seen the nice glassy looking tops on the table and the bars, that's this kind of an epoxy.
Epoxies work when the epoxy resin and curing agent are mixed together. Once that happens, curing begins rapidly. You may only have minutes to get the mixture out of your bucket. On average, you have between 6 and 12 minutes in the bucket and between 20 and 40 minutes on the floor before the epoxy is set. There are ways to manipulate those boundaries, however.
One thing that's handy to know about epoxy is that it's not humidity, it's temperature. With epoxies, it's always temperature. Now, the curing agent only makes up 1/4 of the product. All right, so if we're trying to get an epoxy to wait for us or to give us a little more time, what we do is we take the resin and we chill it down. The same way with like the floor you're doing. If you think that the temperatures are going to accelerate this material too much, if you want to get yourself an extra 10 minutes, drop the temperature on the resin by 10 degrees. If you drop the temperature 10 degrees, you're going to get yourself 10 more minutes. If you raise the temperature 10 degrees, you're going to have 10 minutes less time to work with it.
Once curing is complete, you have a beautiful and permanent finish. In review, epoxies are combinations of resins and curing agents that form a strong, durable, and permanent bond. Different additives create different kinds of epoxies for different kinds of jobs, like vertical epoxy. Mixing and applying must be done quickly. Please watch the next few videos, and soon you'll learn how to make amazing designs with McKinnon materials.